Hello and welcome. In this video I'm going to share how we were able to actually evict a tenant, which has caused us so much trouble, so many issues, and we even end up having some sort of troubles with the council. So in this short video I'm going to share how we were able to get her out and what I've learned from doing it, because she is my first tenant I've ever evicted. I'm very reluctant to evicting people. Why? Because I don't like that feeling. The joy that comes to me is when I provide a home for someone. Okay, that makes me happy, gives me goosebumps, it makes me very, very excited. But and again, it's a business that I run. It was really getting me really, really frustrated, and frustrating my team, frustrating my office, and things are going really, really bad. So, background about the case. It's a lady. She's one of my first tenants actually, and she was very, very nice. A bit rude, aggressive sometimes, but yeah, she's lived in that house. It's a shared house, 5-bedroom house, and things are going well. And she started struggling, or she started stopping to pay her rent. She stopped paying her rent, and that was October, I think, October last year. Because she was always paying rent, we thought it's something to do with some circumstances that she was facing. And then we've asked her gently what the problem was. She said no, it's okay, she hasn't got any financial troubles, she will be paying the rent. She had bank issues, but she will sort out the rent. I said okay, because she had been paying, we thought things were okay. And then October finishes, we then obviously contacted her during that period. She always promised that she would pay the rent. She did not pay the rent, and then we sent another letter to talk to her, find out what the situation, if there's anything we could help her with. She said no, she doesn't need any help, and the rent will be paid. Not knowing that she has actually decided not to pay us rent because she wants to move out. Okay, and she now know because of COVID we cannot actually evict someone easily. So she then realized that she can take advantage of the situation, right? And then obviously, as I said just now, I don't like to evict people. She's been an amazing tenant. I tend to kind of turn a blind eye. I thought she would pay. We asked her if she's lost her job. She said no, she hasn't lost her job. We asked her if she's in a financial trouble. She said no. Right? So we try to communicate with her to try to find out a way that we can even set a payment plan. November finished, December also finished. She did not pay any rent. So we have October now, we've got November, and we've got December rent due. Again, we contacted her. I contacted her myself to find out what the situation is, because as I said, I don't like to evict people from my houses. And again, she just ignored my phone call. I started talking to her. She said she doesn't want to talk to me. If I want to speak to her, to put it in writing. We said fine. We actually put that in writing. She literally ignores the emails we've been sending and all the letters. Again, it's partly my fault. I'm going to put my hands up on this, and I still kind of waited because I don't want to do the legal thing. One, the legal thing is long, windy, and boring, and secondly, she's been in my property for over 2 years, so I don't really want to evict her, right? Again, I sent an email, sent so many emails to her. She decided to not to pay at all, and she started comparing herself with is in some of my other houses, making false allegations with my other houses, saying that some people are there, they're not paying rent every single month. I was like, that's not true. Why would someone live in my other house not paying rent? I said, even if they're not paying rent, that should not stop you from paying our rent, because your rent is due, you have to pay your rent. Making so many stories, and which wasn't true. We tried and tried, it didn't work. So what we did, basically, we approached solicitors, and the solicitors obviously advised us what we needed to do to evict her. And I didn't want to do it. I was reluctant again. I said, let's give her time. February gone, she hasn't made any payment. March gone, she hasn't made any payment. And then I realized literally she's doing it on purpose, and she started complaining about the house. Every single thing she's complaining about, how they don't lock the doors, they slam the doors, they do this. She makes every day, she's making so many complaints and allegations, and she became really, really aggressive to the existing tenant. She literally spat on tenant, broke a glass on a tenant's head. And it went really, really terrible. So I wasn't worried about my money anymore that she has not been paying. I was worried about the existing tenant. We got police called them over 4 or 5 times within 2-month period. So it gets really, really worried. She's not paying her rent. She's having problem with the existing tenant. So it's not just the rent now. We are worried about her safety, right? So again, I contacted her, tried to talk to her on the phone, send an email. She was just reluctant, and she was just really, really aggressive. We had viewings there when some rooms are vacant. She was standing in the door, start cursing, swearing, doing so many stuff. So it was getting at a point there where we'd have to take action. So obviously we did the necessary thing to contact the solicitors. We rang the solicitors. We get them to kind of tell us what the requirements, because I've never evicted someone. I don't even know how to evict people because I don't like it. You know, I don't like to evict people, but I had to do it. And the solicitors advised us, and they charged us ridiculous amount of fee. They were charging us lots of money. I realized probably maybe it's not worth doing, because the things that we're asking, the solicitors were asking us again, were things that we might not even be able to provide. He sent us a massive list. No wonder eviction takes so long. It takes really, really long, because the solicitors want you to feel like they're doing a big job for you. They send this list of information. I was thinking, what the hell is this? We're going to go through a long time to get all this information. And obviously, I spoke to someone who's more experienced than me. And again, it's all about your network. Your network is your net worth. I spoke to someone who's got an estate agency for over 15 years. I rang him, explained my situation, said, Rahim, solicitors will be a waste of your time, okay? You go out there and do your own thing. So he advised me what I needed to do. I will talk about that in a minute. So whilst we're doing that, we take her to debt collectors, okay? We approached the debt collectors. We told them about the situation, about the story about it. And we also tell them where we are with the debt with her and whether she's paid or not. We explain everything to the debt collectors, and the debt collectors start sending letters, trying to get hold of her, etc., etc. But she ignores all the letters from the debt collectors. She did not even flinch, right? She did not flinch. Basically, she ignores everything. Debt collectors keep doing what they're doing, obviously, but that did not work, because normally when you got debt collector letters, some people get worried because they don't want to have CCJs, they don't want to have credit rating issues. So for her, that was a no-go. So that did not work. Then obviously, I then speak to the friend I know who's been running an estate agency for over 15 years. He advised me what to do. So listen, solicitors are going to be a waste of your time. You go and apply for the possession yourself. So I was really dreadful. I was very scared. I don't want to do it because I don't want to feel like I'm kicking someone else in my house. And that was basically April now. So she hasn't paid rent from October till April. She hasn't paid a single penny, right? So obviously I went through the process. So what we did, basically, we sent her a Section 8 eviction letter to tell her that because she hasn't paid rent for 8 weeks consecutively, therefore we're going to evict her within the time period. I think it's about 8 weeks or so notice we gave her. So we do that based on the law, what the law requires us to do. So we sent that letter. Guess what? She ignored the letter, right? When the police came, so I even got the police involved when I was doing the letters, because she was literally terrorizing everybody in that house. So what I did, basically, the police advised me to post one letter and then do one by hand, and to ring them when I'm on my way to the property, so that they can witness me handing the letter to her. So I did exactly that, wrote the letter, rang the police, went to the property, knocked his bedroom, she knocked her bedroom, opens her door, we hand the letter, and the police took a picture of me handing the letter to her. So we then thought, probably now she's seen police and she should have handed the letter, she can move out. Believe me or not, she ignored the letter. She literally ignored it. Key thing to do here, right? Once you've issued that letter, try to compile your document to get yourself ready to apply for a possession claim, right? Just in case they did not move out. So what we did then, basically, we actually, and again, I thought she was going to move out. Once we send that Section 8, we thought she's going to move out. So I did not bother to actually pile the documents. But in your case, assume that they're not going to move out. So obviously the 8 weeks went, she didn't move out, right? Letters Solicitor sent letters. She did not flinch. She literally wasn't going anywhere. So I did the inevitable thing that I did not want to do. So end of April, I think it was May, right? I decided to do a possession claim. A possession claim is very easy and simple, right? If you go online, you search for possession claim, a website, a government website would come up. It's called possessionclaim.gov.uk. Again, I will leave that link on this video so you can use it should you need it. I hope you never have to use it. So again, within that form, they tell you what you're asking for, what you need, right? And then you can complete the form. I think you pay about maybe 200 or 300 pounds for the possession claim, right? So again, I did that, reluctantly did that, and then I submit, and it takes the court about maybe 8 to 2 months or maybe 3 months to actually get back to us. The court decided a date. The court actually fixed the date. They asked us to submit the document. So what you do on the possession claim, basically, you need to get all your document ready. If you're doing a rent-to-rent property, very important, make sure you got your lease agreement. Make sure you're compliant when it comes to everything, like your HMO is in place. You literally have your electricity certificate, gas certificate, inspection certificate. Make sure you've got all that ready, right? Make sure you're doing it as well, because what happens, what the court does, even silly things from the landlord, they will literally adjourn the case. So what I did, basically, again, my friend has done it lots of times, told me to make sure I get all those documents. And again, I contacted the landlord themselves in Wales. The landlord needs to have a license, right? So I contacted them. They sent me their license number, and then obviously they send me their actual card as well. So I put all that, compile all the document, and the deposit she's paid. Protect the deposit, very, very key. If you do not collect a deposit, make sure you're collecting first month and last month rent. Okay, if you haven't got first month or last month rent, if she hasn't paid a deposit, or if she's paid a deposit, you haven't protected it, you are in a big trouble. So make sure you protect your deposit. And again, I learned that the hard way. Okay, always protect your deposit. So in her case, when she moved in, I wasn't experienced. So what I was doing, basically, I was taking first month and a last month rent. The good thing I did, basically, I literally in my system, we noted it down as a last month rent, right? Not as a deposit. So what we did, basically, the court asked us to download the statement to show whether she's paying rent or not, or when she started to pay the rent. So in that statement, we have 2 payments of the current rent and last month rent. So it indicates on the system that that's what she paid. So obviously, we downloaded everything. We downloaded all the payments she missed. We add all that up, and then we file it, right? And then we send it to the court, including her contract and the contract we had with the landlord. Again, never done this before. It's my first time to actually do it. Paperworks are very, very key. Obviously, my office helped me put all the documents together. So submitted the document, and then obviously the court looked at it, and then obviously the court set a date. The courts, I think, set a date in August. No, the court set a date in July, I think. So again, they sent a letter to us saying when the court hearing was. They sent a letter to her as well. And everything went well. And she's still adamant. She's not moving out of that property. She rang the council. The council came and inspected the property. And all. She made so many complaints. Okay, so thankfully, touch base, nothing had happened. And we were doing all the things that we were supposed to do. And she just kept nagging. And then obviously, the court case came, because I thought she would show up in court. Because she was literally saying, I know my rights. Citizen Advice Bureau has told me what I'm supposed to do. I'm working. She literally threatening the office every single day when she rings, or sending email saying she's working with Citizen Advice Bureau. Citizen Advice Bureau said she cannot move out after the Section 8. I have to get a possession order. She knows all the laws, basically. Literally, she was literally stipulating what we're supposed to do. Right? So we're doing all that. We thought then probably she will move out, right? When she received the letter from the court. Right? She rang us, I received the letter to the court, and now I'm not going to move until the court case. And after the court case, I'm still staying until they actually give me an eviction notice. I was thinking she's not going to give up, and she's coming to court with us. And then on the day of the hearing, she did not bother to show up. She did not bother to show up. She did not care about the court. Right? Obviously, The judge asked me about the case. I explained everything to him, and he also asked me for a document that I think it was missing, that did not show when she made her first payment. Thankfully, I had the document with me. Take your documents with you. That's another lesson you need to learn. Take every single document with you, whether you've handed it to the court or not. Make sure you've got it with you in person, just in case a document fell through or maybe the court misplaced it. Make sure you have it, okay? So again, the judge asked me for it, presented the document to the judge, and the judge asked me a bit about the tenancy. I explained that to him, and then obviously she did not show up. She didn't even bother to show up. And then obviously then the judge looked at it. She hasn't paid 7 months rent, right? She hasn't even attempted to pay anything. Then obviously the judge awarded me the case. So obviously I won the case. So when I won the case, then the judge said they will instruct her to move out of the house within 28 days. Right? Again, I thought she's going to move out. I thought she's going to move out now, because this is it, right? The court send a letter to us and send a letter to her as well, right? We got the date when she's supposed to move out, and she would have received the same letter as well, right? And we thought after 28 days, she's moving out, so no need to worry about that anymore. During that 28 days, right, she did not move out. She did not move out. She was literally terrorizing all the tenants in the property, right? Screaming at them, breaking glasses everywhere, and then obviously broke glass in one of the tenants' head. So it was really a tough time for that tenant and us. And then the police get involved. She was literally there. She did not move out after the 28 days. So what we did also back again is to go back to the court to apply for warrant of possession, right? Possession is there. Warrant of possession, what that does basically is to get the bailiff to actually kick her out of the house, right? Again, I didn't want to do that. I was reluctant to do it. And then come August, she has moved out. I reluctantly paid again. For warrant of possession cost about 100 to 150 pounds. Right, and again I paid that 150 pounds. The bank, the court asked me how much it was, how much she owes us. I think she owes us then about maybe £5,000 or £6,000 worth of rent, and then we submitted all that, and then the warrant of possession also is 8 weeks. Okay, and then we then thought, okay, that's fine. So the court sent me the document. I think it was 4 weeks actually. The court sent a document saying they're going to do a warrant. Sorry, a bailiff. They're going to send bailiff there on a day. I think it was on the 22nd of September. It's actually due. It's not even due yet. So they've told me on the 22nd of September they would go and evict her physically. Right? So obviously she knew the day was very close, and then that was the only time she decided to leave. But let me tell you what she did before she left. She literally went to the toilet, her toilet, smashed the toilet in the toilet, get that water and literally smashed it on in the entire property, including the doors. When you walk into the property, you can't even breathe. Right? That's how terrible it was. That's how bad it was. Okay, tenant rang me at about maybe, I think it was 11 at night, saying, oh, we're having strong smell coming through our door. Someone must have done something very silly, not knowing. Basically, someone saw her, one of the tenants saw her do it, but because they're so frightened of her, they can't do anything. They lock themselves inside the room, right? So what happened then, basically, we had to send the cleaners. We have to send the cleaners to go in and deep clean the property, right? They had to deep clean the property very much in order for them to be able to stay in the property, because it was just terrible, absolutely terrible, right? And again, what she did, she literally broke. I realized that she actually broke the door, her cabinet door. She literally pulled it, smashed it on the floor, right? She literally destroyed whatever she was using, including all the other stuff that the other tenants are using for when she moved out. But the good news is she moved out before the 22nd of September, which was very good for us. Although she damages the property, but at least she's gone, and they have people in the houses can feel safe now. They can call that place their home. So again, it was very terrible. Obviously, before the 22nd hits, I rang the court and told the court no need for the bailiff to go because she has vacated the property. Now she's vacated the property. Now the issue we have now is to claim that money back. Right, we need to claim that money back. We rang the court. The court told us they can only be able to claim or force the bailiff if they know a forwarding address. Again, it's very important for you to know what the forwarding address is. Again, we haven't got a forwarding address at the moment, so we are there. But still, the debt collectors are obviously chasing her to actually get the money back. Again, if we haven't got the money, we'd have no choice but actually continue with court proceeding to see if we can get the money. If we don't get the money, unfortunately, she would have CCJ in her name. So to conclude, right, regardless where you are in your property investment journey, I know it's a very difficult thing to do to evict someone, but you have to take it as a business. Right, you have to treat it as a business. If your tenant did not pay you rent for 8 weeks, start the normal processes you need to do, right? Because once they owe you 1 month, 2 month rent, they will struggle to ever pay it back, and they will just lose track and they will never ever pay you back. So what I will advise you to do, if things are starting to happen, if they start creeping up on their rent, ring them up, understand what their situation is. If you have to set a payment plan, set a payment plan instead of leaving it to last minute like what we did in my office, because I was reluctant to actually do it. And again, follow all the legal proceeding, right? Get your gas certs, get your electric certificate, make sure you got your HMO license valid as well. Ensure that you're doing what you're supposed to do in the property, because they will go all out to actually get you pinned down, and you don't really want to do that. So the process to actually reclaim your property back or repossess your property back is, number one, right, getting the Section 8 out, right? Secondly, to prepare your document. Thirdly, to start the application process. You don't have to submit it, start it. At least you started it, get all the document aligned in case they don't move out. So if they don't move out, then you hit that submit button, pay the fees. I know it's painful. Pay the fees and get the court to start their process. Okay? And then once you start against the court to get their process and then get your document ready, go to the court. Don't be shy. You don't have to get a legal representative. I went myself. I did not get a lawyer to actually go with me or a solicitor. I went there myself. I sat down, waited, and the judge came out. The judge then delivered the verdict. So again, then you do that. Once they've done the court hearing, the next thing the judge will win. Hopefully you win the case. They will send an eviction letter to the tenant. Again, the tenant's got about, I think, 8 weeks to actually vacate the property. And if the tenant doesn't vacate the property, then obviously you can then apply for warrant of possession. That warrant of possession that allows the court to actually send bailiff to actually kick the tenant out. I really hope you don't go through this. And again, if you go through this, these are the processes you need to do. Act on them immediately. Don't wait until last minute like what we did, so you don't lose that much money. Imagine if that was the only property I had, or that was the only income I had. It would have really caused a dent in my relationship, in my finances, and so many stuff. So again, take care of your investment. Look after it as a business. Make sure you look after it. Maintain the professional relationship with them in order for you to be able to do what you want to do. And again, in most cases, when you issue Section 8, they will move out. But she just happened to be a troubled tenant. I'm hoping that you may not go through the court process. When you send the Section 8, she would move out, or he would move out, and then you will get your house back. Again, these are the ways, these are the things we use to actually evict her, get her to move out of our properties. And again, I really hope this video has been helpful. If this video has been helpful, don't forget to hit the like button below. Subscribe to my channel for more of these amazing tutorials. I look forward to sharing the next video.